Okay, gang. Today, based on many requests, we're going to do the solo to Jerry Doucette's Mama Let Him Play. We're going to do half of it. We're going to break this one into two. We're going to do the beginning part of the solo today, and then in a week from now, we'll do the back end of the solo, really the faster part of it. We'll do that next week. Now, I've already done the chords and the opening riff up there. I'll put a link up there for you, and also I'll put a link in the description of the video. You can check out that other video, okay? Now, we just did a live stream on underrated guitarists. Nobody mentioned Jerry Doucette. I was remiss in not putting him in there. He's an incredible player. And this solo is actually one of the more incredible ones. This is a super difficult solo. I usually don't use a metronome to get my speed up. I don't feel the need for it. But this one, I definitely had to. It's played at the blistering speed of 135. And at least for this song, it's blistering. I can comfortably get it up to 125. I can do 130 okay. 135 is a bit of a stretch for me, as you could tell. So anyway, my advice is take your time with this one. Like I said, this time we're going to do the first part of it, so it shouldn't present too many problems technically. Next time we'll do the speedy bits. All right, as always, if you like this one, give it the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed for one of these every week, or a couple of them every week, usually. All right, we'll be back in just a second. All right, gang, let's go over this now, note for note, at least the first part of it, okay? So you can get the tab from the description below. It's going to make your life a lot easier. I thought about saying, hey, look, you got to eat your vegetables. You do it without the tab, because I did it without the tab. I was like, yeah, not this time. This is the wrong time to give that message. All right, so the tab is down below. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Now, what I think I'd like to do is let me demo the whole solo first, and should tell you also that the chords are basically, the chords are basically an A to a G to a D back to an A. And there's maybe an implied, I should say, G there at the end. That's why you get that flatted seventh sound. So technically, this is like in A mixolydian, but I like to think of it as basically playing out of the A major pentatonic, and you'll see why. There's a lot of A major pentatonic licks, or a lot of licks that just follow the chords. So that's it. So let me demo the whole solo first, and then we will take it line by line through the first part. Okay, so here's the demo of the whole solo. Okay, that's the whole solo. So we'll first go over, more or less, we'll first go over the slow part. So the slow part, remember we're going to go A to G to D, back to A. So the first part starts out here in the first position, and we're going to go over the first line, which will be all right, so that's over the A chord. We're going to start here on the fifth of the A, which is on the E on the second fret, fourth string. Okay. Okay, and then just play open. All right, so then that's a open on the fourth, and then 4-2 to open on the third, on the fifth. I mean. Now there's a that's a a dotted note there, so you're waiting just a little bit long. The timing is a bit tricky, so listen for that timing. You can listen to the album to really get it down. Okay, so like this again. All right, so that just walks back up, and now the second line is going to be. Now this is over the G chord, you see. So we're going to end up on that G. So again, now we're starting on the fourth string open, which is the D. So you're going to hammer on, pull off, and then land on that G on the sixth string, third fret. You do that twice. Now over the D chord, real simple, we're going to go from the D, which is on the fourth open string, and then end up on the third of D, which is the F sharp on the sixth string. So it's the same as the line over the G. We're just ending one fret below that. We do that twice, and then come out of it by playing the fifth string, and that gets us back to the A. Okay, so I play an open fifth string, and then third slide up to 4, and then open again. All right, then we've got 3 harmonics here. Okay, and this is at the 12th fret. So we play 5th, 2nd, 1st. Okay. Listen to the album again or the record, and the timing to come back in is a little bit tricky, but I think if you listen to the record, you're going to find it. So it's like this. 2, 3. Okay, basically, that's exactly the same as the first time through, with a couple of exceptions. On the over the A chord, we're playing. So the second time we do it, we do this little mordant here, or dipsy doodle, as I like to call it, which is on the 5th string, we'll play 2, hammer on to 4, pull off the 2, and then open and play it again. All right, like that. Okay, so right, like that. The rest of the lines are the same. The line over the G is the same. Right, and the line over the D is the same. Those are all the same. So very few exceptions. It's exactly the same as the first time around. And in fact, if you play it exactly like the first time around, nobody will be the wiser. Everybody will be fine with it. Okay? The only difference is that it's going to end on this. So instead of playing those harmonics, we're going to play this. Right, and that's just, again, that slide up on the 5th string. We're going 3 to 4. All right, and then playing on the, jumping up to the 3rd string, playing that A there on the 2nd fret, and then playing that flatted 7th, which is the G, open 3rd, right? So that's, and then I use my 2nd finger to do this. I can't really do it so well with my 1st. Doesn't feel so good. I'm not good at hammering on with my 1st, so I use my 2nd, which seems to be a little bit easier and better for me. All right, so that's that part. Okay, so now the second piece of the solo gets a little bit, going on a little bit into gear. So the band is kicking into gear now. All right, so the second part of the solo is this. All right. I want to remind you again that this is over, the chorus is A, G, D, and back to A. All right, so the line over the A is this. All right, so pretty straightforward. We're going to start out here on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, which is the note A. You can't get any more A than A. So we're going to start out with A, and then we'll play 4th string, 4th fret, and we're just kind of going back and forth there. Trail that off. Second time around, we do this. All right. So basically, we're walking down a little bit on the 4th. And I like to think of most of this as coming from an A major pentatonic scale as my home base. And so the notes are going to come out of there more or less. All right. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So that's going to go, which is normal so far. And then I want to head up to that 3rd, which is here or here. Right? It's just a C sharp, which is the 3rd of A. But instead of going there directly, I'm going to bend to it. I should say Jerry Doucette did that, which sounds a lot more cool. All right? And you got to cut that off at the end. Don't let it hanging on like this. None of that. All right? Second line over the G is this. All right, so very simple, or similar again. Third time through over that D. All right, so again, very similar, simple line. I should point out one other thing, and that is the chucks that I'm using to keep in time. So I'm playing this. This is going to be a little bit exaggerated. All right, and those two chucks are just to kind of keep in time. We're going to use those a lot in the next chorus. All right? Should note that that last line, or that last little bit, is prepping to go back to the A chord, right? We're playing on the 5th string, 3rd fret, bending that up a half step, almost a half step, and then open 5th string, which is the A. All right? Last line is this. Okay. Normal Chuck Berry type of lick on that one. Let's go over this. Now, all we're really doing is on this one is taking a normal sounding minor pentatonic lick. If I played over this A chord, if I played this, you would certainly recognize that sound. So all I'm doing here is I'm playing, or I think Jerry Doucette's playing the same thing that you'd normally play over an A minor pentatonic, playing it for an A major pentatonic. All right, let's dissect that a little bit. So we're bending up on the 3rd string, 4th fret, about a whole step, but we don't hold it so long. Then we're coming up on the first 2 strings on the 2nd fret. That should sound like Johnny Be Good, right? Okay, now we're coming down again. On the 2nd string, we'll play 5-2. And then we're going to do this retrograde motion. We're going to go to the 3rd string, play the 5th fret, which is a sour note if you stick on it, okay? So don't stick on it too long. We'll come back up to the 2nd on the 2nd fret, and then walk down on the 3rd string from 5, 4, 2. And then cap it with this 4, 2 on the 4th fret, okay? So it sounds like this. Notice you hang a little bit on that A, which is the 3rd string, 2nd fret. All right? So here is that whole chorus. All right, let's move on to the last time, or the 3rd chorus, which is the last one we're going to do for today, which is a series of double stops. So it kind of goes like this. All right, we won't do the fast part, but you can see the transition there, which is one of the important things to get down. Okay, so you know those chucks that I was using, those kind of spacer chucks, they come really into the fore on this one, and it's the same pattern all the time. So over the A chord, we're playing this. Okay, so that's the pattern. Played twice over that A, right? So what we're doing there, that little chord, is on the 2nd fret on the 2nd and 3rd strings. So you can recognize that as a mini A chord, right? Here's the whole, and here's the mini. Okay? So now over the G chord, we're just going to play this. Now this right here is 2nd fret, or 2nd string, 3rd fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret. And you'll recognize, I hope you'll recognize that both those notes are in a G chord. Or not the second one, sorry, they're not both in a G chord, but they're in sort of a suspended second. The A is a suspended second for a G. And the D is the 5th of G. So both of those are going to work okay. Okay, over the D chord, those are definitely both in the D chord, right? You can see that by playing your little mini little guy D, but just play that. And that's over the A again. So you'll notice on that one, we're playing 3 of those, and we're definitely putting in those spaces. All right. Now, a couple of things to note. On both of these, you'll want to mute with your right hand the best you can. And what I like to do on the second one is actually bar instead of playing the individuals. That can be done, but I find this to be easier. And when you bar, though, it's more important to mute because there's a tendency for the sound to linger. So try your best to mute those, okay? And that brings us to the last lick, which is simply this. And that brings us into the... which we're going to cover next week or in the next time around. All right? So that lick happens to be basically the same as the lick that we did before, so I'm not even going to cover that, right? It's the... That's it. Well, there you have it, folks. The first half to the Jerry Doucette Mama Let Him Play solo. Second half is coming up. So I don't know what to say. Eat your Wheaties for next time, or limber up your fingers, or do whatever it takes to get ready to go pretty fast. All right, until next time, we'll see you down the road.